own words, I guess. But think about that as well. Think about if your significant other just came up to you one day and said, you know what, just thank you for being you. How would that make you feel? Would you also want to do something for that other person? And then when you do it for them, would they want to then do it back for you? And then it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better and better, as Brian says. Does that make sense? Yes. Any questions about that? Any experiences that people have had from showing sincere appreciation for somebody? If you want to, Eric, stand up, talk.
I learned something from the founder of our company, and I started doing it, but if you come into my house, when I walk in every night, just above my door, I've written in magic marker, LA. And I just look at that, and it reminds me of something. It's not Lower Alabama. But to me, it represents last appointment. Because if you think about it, anyone's in sales, right? I don't care how tired you are. If you're going into your next client appointment, what's your face like? What's your energy like? No matter how bad your day was, you're fired up, you're excited, you're enthusiastic, you just can't wait to get in there and talk to them about what you're doing. You need to do that with your family, too. When you walk in at the end of the day, I treat my family as my last appointment. I walk in, I make sure for 20 minutes, I'm excited, I ask them how their day was, what's going on, I spend time before I plop down in the chair, turn the TV on and say, leave me alone, right? You got to treat your family that same way. And you know, I've been very blessed. The CEO of our company has taught us, if you guys want to know the secret to relationships, it's real simple. They happy, you happy. That's it. That's all there is to it. But if you would have, write that above your door, LA, so you see that. When you walk in, do that to your kids. I have teenage kids. My daughter's a senior, my son's a freshman. I make sure when I walk in, no matter how tired, you know, these guys know I work pretty hard in our business. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock at night. I'll still walk in and just spend 5-10 minutes with them, just as if it was a client, all fired up about how their day was. And it's made a huge difference in my relationship with my kids, my wife, my family, everything, because of doing that. So
and your business gets better because
everything
gets better.
It's amazing.
Better. As Brian's, one of Brian and Ben's both sayings. Anybody else want to share any stories of appreciation?
I got one. I was actually given this book. In fact, I just got this invitation on Monday. When I saw the title, I'm like, oh, I'm in. Because when I was in 8th grade, that was one of my little graduation gifts. I was given Napoleon Hill, Norman Vincent Peale, and Dale Carnegie. And so when I got into high school, I spent a couple years working at the Sharper Image just to earn some extra money. And so it was my first real entry into sales, if you will. And one of the things I picked up, because Dale Carnegie was the first book that I really read that geared in that sort of information, was the appreciation factor. And one thing that I took out of that is with everybody that comes in to the store that I have to help as a salesperson, find one thing that genuinely, I can show some sort of appreciation towards. And I remember in that first year, there was a couple people that had come in, and one that stood out pretty significantly. It was an older gentleman who had been in the military, I think it was the Navy. And you could tell he had his cap on, it was huge, and it had this big emblazoned badge on it. And I had no idea what it meant, but I was intrigued by it, so I started to talk about it, and I'm like, I love your hat. Certainly there's a story behind that hat. And I swear, he spent 20 minutes telling me just this huge war story, and he was so proud and he was leaving. But what resulted out of that was a very significant sale. And, that was sort of the byproduct. I remember the story before I remember what I sold the guy. But as I continued to do that, what I found is year after year, I had grown up in Hawaii, so it was sort of a destination place. Those people would come back year after year, and they would look for me. And so for 2 years, I could say easily that I had probably 24 people that remember talking to me, because it was all started about me appreciating something that they either had or something they're wearing or whatever. So as you pull that into your personal life, the same thing holds true. So I found that really neat.
Great. In the essence of time, let's say for each topic, let's maybe bring up like 3 people to talk, and then we'll, as it gets on, we can make a decision if we want to keep going about stuff. I think Carly had her hand up as well. Another story.
Well, at my job, there are 2 people, myself and my partner, who do the same job. We both manage the same employees at our job where we have servers. And she does it one way and I do it a little bit different. And the production level of when the servers are working under me versus when they're working with my counterpartner is almost doubled the production when she's over them. And so it really did. And I actually had 2 servers come up to me and say, we work harder when you're here because we know you appreciate what we're doing. And it's nothing that I do other than, guys, I really appreciate you working hard. 5 more minutes of this and then you guys can go out back and smoke a cigarette, or you guys can go out and chill out or do whatever. Versus, guys, you're not doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. We've got 5 more minutes of this, suck it up. And it's a total different mentality switch, and the production level's higher. They're happy. I've now made friends who now want to work harder for me and make my job easier. It makes me look better, and everybody's happy. Better and better and better.
When I was 5 years old, I should have realized this, but didn't at the time. But I remember going to my best friend's house where we were after school. His mom would watch us, whatever. And I actually enjoyed doing chores at my friend's house where I didn't at my house, and vice versa. My friend would come over and he would be like all happy to do chores, like just bring up the wood from downstairs or whatever it is. And the reason being because when you have a kid that's not your kid, he's like, wow, thank you so much. The parents will show appreciation towards the kid that's not theirs. So of course the kid enjoys doing it because he's getting appreciated for it. That's basically what this whole book is about. You're showing appreciation, and yeah, it's something I learned as a 5-year-old, and we're all together now.
As members of the group, if you're a member of the group, how many of you have gotten on the meetup site and checked to see if you have a shout on your site? If anybody said anything, welcomed you or anything like that? I want you to think about something. Okay, a picture. If you see like a school picture from like your 6th grade class or your high school or whatever, what's the first person that you look at in the picture? First person you try to find is yourself, right? Obviously, we are extremely interested in ourselves, right? And I mean, it's true. And when people show interest in you, how does that make you feel? Absolutely incredible, right? So we are going to talk about some action steps and some things that can really, A, start impacting your lives right away, but also impacting other people's lives. On our meetup site, if you're a member, you can go in there and get to any member and just post a little shout. I didn't even know what it was till I saw Brian posted a shout on mine, and I was like, hey, that was just Brian, but it was still kind of cool, But seriously.
I make it a point to every new member to post a shout on everyone, so if I miss anybody, I didn't mean to, but I get an email, you have a new member. This has become my passion now. So
Let me tell you what, he checks that, he'll call me like, hey, we got a new member today, like 30 minutes or whatever. But so, I mean, you guys, really, we need to appreciate Brian. We are all here as a big group. We need to appreciate Ben. We need to appreciate Heather. We need to appreciate Angel. The people that get here early that help set up. Ben lives here, and the people probably go like, what the heck are you doing down there? All these people cheering, drinking all of our coffee, probably giving him all this crap. But we need to appreciate all these people. So, but
we'll do it until they kick us out.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tonight when you go home, or tomorrow when you're sitting at work, after you've appreciated your boss, so you can take 5 or 10 minutes to kind of goof off, get on the meetup site, and we're going to do something here where if you already have met somebody here, meet them here, go on the site, and say something nice about them. We know what's going to happen now, so it's going to be kind of cool, everybody going to the site just to kind of check it out, and check and see if there's a new member. Welcome them to the group. There's how many people are new to Charlotte and posted that on the meetup group? There's a couple people that put that on there. I mean, these people who really don't know a lot of people maybe here. We've got a new business down in the South Charlotte area, and it's all about just welcoming people to the area, welcome them to the group. But the next thing, as we talked about being interested versus interesting, one of the things that I really got out of it as well, and Heather and I actually had lunch on Monday. Carly was there and her husband Sean was there. It was kind of funny because we both understand the principles of letting excuse me, I'm going to spit on the floor. Get a little excited. It didn't get too far. It didn't get too far. You guys are in the wet zone up front, absolutely. Shamu coming in, but yeah, we do have a watermelon somewhere. We'll smash it. But what were we talking about? Interested versus interesting. If somebody asks you, hey, tell me a little bit about where you came from or whatever it is, you'll talk for hours, won't you? There's a quote in the book. It says, talk to other people about themselves and they will listen forever. And it's so true. But when we'll talk about people to share some of their experiences as well. But we all sat down at the table on Monday, and I knew she knew the book, and I knew all this other stuff. And I said, all right, Heather. Or she actually said, no, we both have read it. And I said, I'm kind of excited. I want to talk today. She goes, I've read the book. It's okay. You can go ahead and talk. Because
This isn't going to work.
if nobody talks, because they're asking about each other. But seriously, somebody else said something to me one time that really impacted my business, and it's also impacted my relationships, with family, with friends, with significant others and everything. But we were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth and use them respectively. We all like to talk. We all like to do things. And there's people that really like to find out about each other. But anything that you want to get out of life, you just ask people about themselves. You'd be amazed at the people that they know, the connections that they have. And as you talk to them, There's also a quote in the book, or a story in the book, where Dale Carnegie was at a dinner meeting, okay, and he met a botanist, I think it was, that was there. And he knew nothing about botany, but there was like 12 or 15 people at this dinner party. And you know, at a dinner party, you're supposed to kind of meet everybody and talk with them and everything. He goes, I broke all the rules of